show.
James Dolan is confident his Knicks will land elite talent this summer. Should he be?
Draymond Green is changing agents, the King is still throwing down, and we pick some recent trades that teams could regret.
And we debate whether LeBron's run of all NBA selections ends this season.
It's Wednesday, March 13th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey. I'm J.E. Skeets, alongside me as always, Tass Mellis. We got the Aussie, Lee Ellis, and over yonder, that's the bearded one, that's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey, yo! Trey, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag The Starters, and guys, Joel Embiid has played just 2 games of basketball in the past month, so after last night's win against the Cavs, people wanted to know what percentage his conditioning was at. Joel, as expected, had a very nice answer.
Percentage? 69.
Oh, classic Embiid, but we've heard that joke from Joel before, which brings us to today's question. What is the best quote from the season so far? For me, it's got to be the time Dennis Smith Jr. explained why he had his tooth fixed during a game when he still played for the Mavericks.
I knew it was gonna be cameras. Whenever it's cameras, then it's going on social media. When social media is ladies looking. When it's ladies looking, I gotta be looking nice. So.
The math adds up, but we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter what is the best quote from the season so far. Send them to us at hashtag Starters. We'll hear from you a little bit later.
All right, get your tweets in. On tonight's show, Lee and Trey will step into the crossfire. We're also going to discuss LeBron's all-NBA chances. Yes, that's an actual thing we can discuss this season with LeBron. And we got a very solid play, but we start with a little Is This News? Trey's rounded up the recent headlines. He's going to pitch them to us like he's Lance Lynn, and we'll determine whether or not they're actually newsworthy. Trey.
All right, our first headline is from NBC Sports by way of an ESPN radio interview. James Dolan says that future free agents told the Knicks they want to play in New York. Is this news or tampering?
Well, I watched this interview, and afterwards I was nowhere closer to believing that the Knicks were going to get a free agent, especially because of their track record. They haven't signed a big-name free agent since Amare, 2010, and they've tried every single season to get a big name. It hasn't worked out. This is absolutely not news. What's bigger news is that James Dolan is doing a little bit of media work. He doesn't usually talk to the media. This reminds me kind of Kyrie and Kevin Durant talking at All-Star Weekend. These guys are friends. Maybe they want to go to New York. And maybe that's even bigger news than James Dolan talking, actually, because they like each other. And some relationships are born in the offseason or when guys are talking, like at USA Basketball. We know the Warriors got together. Andre Iguodala got there because they were friends. Those guys are friends. Maybe they'll end up somewhere together. But it might not be New York. Right. It's not anywhere closer to me.
But based on the moves they made, primarily trading away Kristaps Porzingis, tells me that at least they do feel pretty strongly that they have maybe got some inside running. Now, no one's obviously going to say anything right now, but you wouldn't make that move by trading Porzingis, in my belief, if you didn't have some indication that someone is certainly interested in going to New York. So,
or if Kristaps said, hey, I'm not coming,
well,
I'm not coming back, then they had to trade.
He's basically said that he didn't enjoy the organization there. He said he loved the city, but now this is a different situation for New York because there are so many big-name free agents, and there's so much intrigue about whether or not guys like Kyrie and Kevin Durant, what they're doing next season. So the Knicks have at least positioned themselves, like they did in 2010, to attract a big-name free agent.
Isn't the league's worst-kept secret Durant is going to New York? Now, whether it's true, we don't know. We will find out, but that's out there, and a lot of people do believe it. Who knows if Kyrie's joining him or if another player is. And it makes sense. It does make sense when you step back and you look at KD, why he would maybe go to New York. Obviously, if he wants to sort of rehabilitate his image, his legacy, whatever, it's likely not going to happen in Golden State with the casual fan. They think if he's got to go somewhere else and become a savior for a franchise. Well, I can't think of a better franchise to save that needs saving than the Knicks. And the other part is, it's not like he's
does he care about his legacy?
Well, no, exactly. He may not.
Or his image?
Everyone
he
does.
cares about his image?
Of course he does.
Well, this was a guy that had burner Twitter accounts, so he cares to some extent, or he has in the past. Maybe he's changed. The other part is he's not chasing rings, though, here either. He's already got 2, might have a third one. You could, again, see, he's not going to a team that has to be good because I got to get a ring to help my legacy. He's like, all right, I'll just go try and do something else here and try and get a winning basketball team in New York. So I don't know if it's going to happen. My gut says yes, he's headed there. But I wonder, do you think with James Dolan being the owner and the Knicks being one of the worst teams, if not the worst team of the last 20 years, does that matter at all to players like KD or Kyrie or Kemba or whoever?
Of course it does.
Do they really care? Do players really care about the owner? I'm not so sure they do.
They care about a front office and whether it's tumultuous or not.
The front office,
Chris,
yes.
He's
So-
part of the front office.
Unfortunately, he is.
Well, Kristaps Porzingis just had issues with it, and that's why
Right.
he's gone. It seems like.
But it's still the appeal of the Knicks in New York City, which I think
Exactly.
is one of those situations that's never going to change. Doesn't matter what's happened in the past. If you can be the guy who goes and turns the Knicks into a winner, that automatically catapults you into the top of New York Knicks fans' hearts. And that must be appealing. Again, as you mentioned there, KD may have 3 rings, so he's got those now in his keeping
yeah.
forever. Maybe this is the biggest challenge that he wants.
Yeah.
So there's no better situation for him to go to if that's what he
Like
feels like.
good players do go to bad teams every once in a while. I guess we just saw LeBron do that. He signed a 4-year deal to go to the Lakers.
So
now
what?
the Lakers are a storied franchise. I get that, but they've been very, very bad. They win 25 games on average over the last 5 years. Not that dissimilar than the Knicks' current run here.
Why haven't they got anybody in the last 8 seasons?
I mean, that's sort of it's coming. Maybe it is Dolan. Maybe I was throwing it out there. Is that the case, or is it because of the front office, more GMs and stuff like that, the coaching, the direction? It all goes hand in hand. I'm with you on that. But do you think they'll land anyone this summer? You're just not convinced.
I got no idea.
Yeah, well, Dolan's very confident. Let's continue with Dolan here. What's our next headline?
Our next headline is from ESPN. From that same interview, James Dolan says the banned Knicks fan set up an ambush. Is
What?
this news?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's news that another fan, I guess, got banned. But ambush is a really interesting word here from James Dolan. And let's just show you the clip from TMZ Sports.
Sell the team! You think I should sell the team? You want to not come to any more games? Why? That's rude. It's an opinion. No, it's not an opinion. And you know what? Enjoy watching them on TV.
Power move.
Was that
power
a-
move to ban that fan?
Crazy, though, right?
Yeah. And James Dolan called it a setup.
Yeah.
Which it probably was.
Yeah, but he didn't have to act whatsoever.
But
he
he
could have
said-
just
he took the bait.
strolled right
Yeah,
by. Yeah.
but he did say that in the interview that he
Yep.
shouldn't have taken the bait because you can imagine how many
But then he
things...
banned the fan.
Yeah, but you can imagine
He's
how many
thin-skinned.
things...
He's sensitive.
Right, but
is he a New Yorker? Have you ever met a New Yorker? They literally dish
you
it
ever
and
been
take
to the
it
Garden?
with the best of
I
them.
know, but
So-
that doesn't mean you can't ever respond. They just had another bad loss. Someone just shouting out from the stand. I'm just
The
saying...
response is finally, I think
Yeah.
we all agree with that. If you want to engage with that fan that told you to sell the team, sure.
Yeah.
But then to go to your goons like, hey, go get them, boys, and then ban them,
No, he
that's
doesn't.
insane.
I agree. He does not deserve to be banned, but I'm talking about the reaction. He's just walking off there in the tunnel, someone shouting out to him like that. Again, he has that happen probably 100 times a game. He finally reacts and someone's got it on camera ready for that reaction. That's
Right.
what happened, in my opinion. And he was just like, you know what, banned for the game. I'll be surprised if he doesn't maybe retract that at some point. Because
Really?
I think he might, because it does look pretty
Wow.
bad and it's certainly excessive. But I'm just saying, like, again, he does take a lot of abuse. Now, we know the Knicks haven't been good, but that doesn't mean anyone can just say anything. That wasn't anything like what Russell
Yeah, I was going
Westbrook
to say,
had to
not
put up
very
with.
abusive, not
Right.
much of an ambush.
Right.
He wasn't like
I'm
hiding
just
under the
saying,
bushes.
you
and
don't
stuff
see
like
what
that. Popped in and
happens
said,
prior
"Sell
to
the
that,
team."
and he's just like fed up with it, and maybe that's why he chose that path. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's clear that you have to get both sides
Right.
of the stories at all times. You can't just say, well, James Dolan says kick this guy out.
Yeah.
We should kick him out. You should hear everybody's accounts, and unfortunately, this was wrong. It was just a wrong thing to do, period.
And look, and Dolan's had the incident with Charles Oakley a couple of years ago. He's had other incidents with fans, yelling things, getting upset and all that. And this is his power. I mean, he's the owner of the team. He's the owner of the building. If he wants to kick you out, that's fine. But then to go do this 45-minute interview explaining it and calling it an ambush, and they were stalking him, I just think he made it worse in a weird way for me.
So he can repair it. That's what I'm saying.
And maybe he will, but I'll be shocked if he does. All right, final one here, Trey.
Our final headline is not about James Dolan, but it comes from Sports Illustrated by way of the undefeated. Draymond Green signs with Clutch Sports, joining LeBron and Anthony Davis. Is this news?
I think it's news not because of LeBron James or who is signed with Clutch Sports, but the Anthony Davis bungling by Clutch Sports at the trade deadline and how they declared it and it didn't happen and Anthony Davis looks bad because of it really hasn't hurt Clutch Sports' reputation. That's why it's news for me. Draymond Green is going to sign with them. That's all it means to me. I don't think LeBron said, hey, Dre, come sign with me. I think Draymond Green made a business decision for himself, and he still thinks that Clutch Sports is a reputable organization that he could sign with.
Well, they've got some big clients on their books already,
sure.
so that's maybe what Draymond saw was appealing. It's like, despite what happened with Anthony Davis, he feels that that's the best representation for him going forward. But we know this is automatically now going to generate all sorts of innuendo and speculation about what Draymond's next move is going to be and how the agency is going to be instrumental in what he does. Because
You mean in terms of what, pairing him with other potential?
well, yes, because
sports clients?
because Anthony Davis's reputation has taken a hit for the way things have turned out in New Orleans, and we know that Draymond's only played with the Warriors. He's a very, very important part of their success over the last few years, but he has also clashed somewhat with the team and you know, with his own coaching and front office there.
Yeah.
So those sorts of things now, if he has another sort of little blow up with Steve Kerr or anything like that, these things are just going to pile on
It gets
more and
magnified.
more that Draymond's going to want out at some point.
Well, he's an unrestricted free agent, Draymond Green is, in 2020. So it's not this summer. The Warriors got to figure out what they're doing with Klay Thompson. They obviously got to figure out what they're doing with Kevin Durant. Is Draymond Green, we're obviously running out of time here right now, I hear the music, but is Draymond Green going to expect and get a max contract of a
Yes,
5-year,
yes.
$190 million-ish deal
yes.
in 2020?
Yes.
From the Warriors or from
He's
some
going to
other
expect
team?
it for sure.
Or from the Warriors, it would have
Yeah.
to be, I guess. In 5.
Well, yeah, the Warriors won't give it to him, though. I don't think.
God,
They
he'll be 30
can
years
knock
old.
it.
Yeah.
Listen, what happened here, though, is this is a relationship business. And when they're filming for HBO, they're talking. Clutch Sports is talking. Anthony Davis is talking to Draymond Green. Hey, it happened.
Gotta take a break. When we come back, Lee and Trey step into the crossfire to debate the better LeBron dunk from last night. Yeah, he's putting on a show up in Chicago. Come on back.
I'm gonna ambush you, Lee. Sell that shirt!
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
Welcome to Crossfire. The challenger from the continental United States takes on the champion from down under. The winner takes home this belt. Round number 1. LeBron James might be playing fewer minutes, missing some games here or there, but he is looking spry when he gets out there. 36 points, 2 huge dunks against the Bulls. The tough question, which dunk was better? Here we go.
I am going with the dunk later in the game that came off the backboard. LeBron threw it down, just like a little bit of old throwback LeBron here. But it's not just for the dunk. Look at the little jiggle he gives afterwards. We haven't seen that for a while. LeBron hasn't been winning lately, hasn't been having fun. Good to see him throw down a dunk and then get into it again. I think you've got to add a little bit of spice to a dunk these days to get noticed.
Come on, Lee. The question wasn't what's the best dance, because that was the best dance. It was the only one. The question is what's the best dunk, and I think it's got to be the full court, off the floor, reverse alley-oop. Have we ever seen this in the NBA before? I can't really remember any something like that.
Do a dance or something afterwards.
Yeah, when the dunk
Celebrate
is
it.
that good, you don't have to sell it that hard. I think even the pure dunk versus dunk, this is better, way smoother. I do like the dance, though.
Yeah, see, I knew you would like that.
So much dancing here in Crossfire. Round number 2. This one is a strange one. Joel Embiid has a new dog. It's a new poodle, and it has a very unique name. Klaus Hinkie de Paula Embiid.
Wow.
Trust the process. Another real tough question here. What's a good NBA name for a dog? Here we go.
Long-time listeners, long-time watchers will know my dog's name is Yams, but for an NBA spin, I call her Dog Yams Dog. After Wizards great God Shamgod, you ask yourself, does Dog Yam Dog have the handles of God Shamgod? Yes, she does. Love handles, Lee. She's a short, fat dog, Yam Dog. I don't know what else to say. That's her name from now on.
That's enough.
Quick word association. Dog.
Woof.
No, Bark, as in Charles Barkley. It
Fair.
really goes perfect. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, and he's just so comfortable with dogs. If you're going to get a dog, you want the short, sharp name Charles, and then when it's being bad, you can go Barkley. Charles Barkley. Get it?
You just want to name a dog Lee.
It's Barkley. Yeah, it worked perfectly.
This matchup is over. Do we need the third round? Might as well do it. A really weird story here. Kobe Bryant's Lower Merion jersey, which was stolen right from the display case in the high school 2 years ago, has turned up in China, of all places, but it has been returned. The question, what is something stolen you want returned? Here we go.
My last year of high school, our coordinator came to us and said, why don't you decorate your homeroom, guys? Make yourself feel comfortable so you have memories when you leave high school. So I went home and got my most prized possession, which was this Michael Jordan poster. I put it up in the room. It lasted about 2 days until someone nicked it. But I tell you what, I haven't forgotten. I'm still going to track down that person. They think they got away with it. They didn't. That poster is coming home one day.
Great
Book
poster.
it.
That's a great story, Lee, but Joakim Noah stole my Brad Miller cardboard cutout, and I have the receipts. A friend in the Bulls found this Brad Miller cutout, says, hey, this is yours. A couple of days later, I see a picture of Joakim Noah walking out with that very Brad Miller cutout. That could have been ours. That could have been on the set, but luckily, Joakim's putting it to good use.
Yeah.
Reuniting the Bulls centers. Just give it over. Just give it over.
Well done, folks. Well done. But the official judges score this 2-1 for Trey Kirby.
I think it was that shirt that did it tonight, man. Where'd you get that from?
Shout out to Mr. Koya. Couldn't have done it without you.
Lee's still winning, getting a Mr. Koya mention.
All right, coming up next, is this the year LeBron doesn't make All-NBA? What? We'll tackle that and more. Don't go anywhere. Back with the starters, time for fill in the blank fun. TK, take it away.
LeBron James has made first-team All-NBA the last 11 seasons. The 3 years before that, 2 seconds and another first. All in all, LeBron has made All-NBA every season except for his rookie year. But this season, he had his first major injury, and the Lakers aren't going to be making the playoffs. So guys, fill in the blank. LeBron will make All-NBA blank team.
What are you going with?
So it's crazy that we're even having this conversation. I think he makes the third team. There are 3 forwards that definitely get more votes than him. Giannis is on the first team. Then KD and Paul George. Not sure who shuffles into the first team, who gets to the second team. Then LeBron, I think, has a legitimate shot at the second team, but Blake and Kawhi will fight him for that, and then he'll join the other guy on the third team for me.
Yeah.
I don't think there's better forwards. 6 better forwards than him, maybe 5 this season, but not 6 better.
I'm with you. I went 13 too, because then you're exactly right. After those 6 that we just showed you, then you're like trying to talk yourself into a Tobias Harris or a Chris Middleton. Guys that had great years, don't get me wrong, but still not on the level of a LeBron James. So I got him 13 teams. The only thing interesting with this is sometimes with these votes, when they make these teams, they don't really care with the center/forward positioning. So there's a lot of bigs, right, in this league. A lot of bigs are going to get left off the All-NBA teams. When I'm talking like sort of center guys, you're going to have Embiid and you're going to have Jokic. But what about Anthony Davis? What about Karl Anthony Towns? What about Gobert? What about Vucevic? What about LaMarcus Aldridge?
Yeah.
That would be the only possibility, I think, that LeBron doesn't get in.
But they're most likely centers.
Exactly.
Speaking of LaMarcus Aldridge, though, you know how many times he's been All-NBA? 5. And guess how many times he's been a center as an All-NBA? 0.
Right.
That means he's going in this year as a forward. He's averaging 21 and 9 on 52% shooting on a team 10 games over 500.
So you got LeBron not making it.
I think he does miss out this year because also as well, let's say LeBron sits down soon. He might only play 50, 51 games. I know Steph Curry missed a lot of games last year, but I just think that is going to go against him because LaMarcus is one of those guys no one really thought he was going to make the All-Star team, and he makes it. They reward winning and consistency, and that's what it is. And I just think
the NBA has kind of changed since LaMarcus made the power forward spot. He's a center now, and he's played most of his minutes as center.
But he's not. He's not a center. We don't look at LaMarcus Aldridge and go, he's a center. We know he's a power forward. That's what he is.
That's why I brought that
NBA.
up. That's why I
He's
brought
played
that up.
94% of his minutes at center.
Last year he was a forward, All-NBA second team.
Yeah, Powell played a lot more with him.
It'll be interesting. Trey, it's our next one.
Really makes you think. But since being traded from the Lakers to the Clippers, Ivica Zubac has put up averages of 9 points and 8 boards a game while starting 13 games for LA's only playoff team. Meanwhile, Mike Muscala, the shooter the Lakers got in return, has shot 30% and made just 5 threes in a month. Guys, fill in the blank. A trade a team would like back is blank. A lot of words in this one.
Yeah, I think the Sacramento Kings would love to have Iman Shumpert back because they were playing really well. They were over 500 when he was there, and since they've traded him, they've slipped. Now, it's not just because of Iman Shumpert, but you talked about it in one of our shows, Skeets. He's a real veteran presence and a leader and someone who they really liked in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I think they're missing that right now. I think they're missing that experienced guy, especially down this stretch run when they really had a chance to make the playoffs. It's not going to happen now. And I think if he was there, only 1 or 2 more wins, and maybe they're in the race. So I think if you're the Kings, they got Harrison Barnes, which I think was a smart move, but it hasn't probably worked out the way they would have liked it to.
The Wizards are going to regret trading 23-year-old Kelly Oubre, along with Austin Rivers, for Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza is gone after the season. Kelly Oubre has played well in Phoenix. He's starting to feel it. And again, he's 23 years old. The Wizards went for it this season. Didn't happen. They're unlikely to make the playoffs with Trevor Ariza there. They got older for what? For what reason at all? That doesn't really make sense.
I went with a team a trade would like back is the 76ers for having to include Landry Shamet. Okay, so I'm cheating a little bit here. Now that was a big deal. There was a lot of moving pieces in that. That got the Sixers Tobias Harris, but you had Shamet and Chandler and Muscala and then a bunch of picks, some first rounds, some second rounds. I get it. The Sixers were going all in this season with Tobias Harris, a little insurance policy if Jimmy Butler leaves and they maybe sign him. But Landry Shamet, in his very, very limited time there with the Clippers, starting for them, on fire from three, obviously young. I believe it's his birthday today, so happy birthday to Shamet out there. But he looks like he's going to be sort of like a J.J. Redick type. This guy's going to be around for a long time when you can shoot the ball like that. So just the 76ers having to include him. But maybe that's what it took to get Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Let's hear from you guys. Jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters. Fill in the blanks. Where you like LeBron James in the All-NBA selections, and which trade would a team like to take back? When we come back, very solid play. Well, what is this? It's Lee Ellis's NBA Pick'em Weekly 6 picks presented by MGM Resorts. That's who Lee has.
Worth $1 million, these picks.
And the difference there, the actual score difference. You can make your picks at nba.com/pick'em for a chance to win $1 million. You get all 6 right, so good luck. Lee, you're going to be rich, man. We asked you, what's the best quote this season? You hit us up on Twitter, hashtag the starters. What do you got, Trey?
Yeah, some good ones. We got another one from Joel Embiid when he explained he had a migraine and diarrhea during a game. The guy's a quote machine. Also great, isn't that tampering? Giannis to LeBron during the All-Star draft. Russell Westbrook saying, I've been blessed with the talent to not give a boo. Classic Russ. One of the greatest quotes of the season, no doubt. I'm a fun guy from Kawhi Leonard. But my favorite answer comes from Sam, who says, Lee Ellis is bananas. It's what's for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, mid-morning snacks, after-school snacks. Have a banana.
It's true. It's all true.
All true. You can eat that at any time you want.
Tonight's Pick'em game, Warriors at Rockets. Trey and Lee have Houston sweeping the season series against the Dubs. Tass and I taking the Warriors. Lee, VSP.
Yeah, going out to Los Angeles. This one was actually tweeted to me by the Los Angeles Clippers, so how could I not choose it? It's a beautiful ball movement here from the Clippers. Patrick Beverley goes inside, over to Shai, over to Wilson. He's not shy. That's what I call a very solid play.
He wears his sunglasses on his shirt.
This is young Leo out at the Game 2 of the NBL in Australia, semi-finals between the Brisbane Bullets and Perth Wildcats. What a great song.
That
It's
is
got so much in there.
Very, very nice sign.
Perfect.
Very nice sign, guys. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, thanks for joining us. And remember, we get to the studio before the show so early, we got a lot of time to kill. So this is what we do.
Having a little kick.
Oh, you've been marked.
Brace the night, people.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, yeah.